right, welcome everyone. We are live on Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips, and I have a special guest today. For those of you rewatching the replay, if you're watching it on YouTube, please join our Facebook group, Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips, if you're wanting to learn how to share and build a doTERRA essential oils business. So I am a doTERRA Blue Diamond. All that means to you is I help and educate lots and lots of people about oils and lots of people about how to build a business. I like to help people build more simply, more duplicatably. I want you to be able to fit doTERRA into your real life and enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. I spent my first 2 years building doTERRA, working 12 to 16 hours a day to build to diamond. We got there and I didn't love it anymore. The complicated process I was using did not bring me joy, did not help cultivate and unlock sharers and builders in my team. The complicated process scared people from sharing doTERRA, and I want doTERRA in every home. And the only way we're going to get there and going to get to change this healthcare system is if we teach people how to do it simpler and more duplicatively. So today I have with me some Ginger, who's kind of been with me for a while. She's not on my team, but her and her uplines discovered me quite a while ago, and we've gotten to be buddies ever since. So I'm super excited to have Ginger here today. Ginger is a silver. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself, and then she's going to dig in and tell us how she implemented our vendor event process for more successful vendor events.
Yeah,
so take it away, Ginger.
I feel like we're old friends.
Oop, we just got a bad connection. Just as you went live, it cut out. Okay, so do that one more time.
I said I feel like we're old friends.
We are old friends. It's probably been a year or more.
Yeah, it's been a little over a year. You've been a huge help to me and my team, and just trying to, our structuring. So, anyways, I've been a silver in doTERRA, I am a silver in doTERRA, and been with doTERRA for a couple of years now, and love it. It's the one thing in my life that I love. So everything else is, just everything else.
That's why we get along so well.
That's right. So anyways, I recently decided that I wanted to do something that was completely out of my comfort level. And I do this business with a couple of my best friends. And so we tend to do things all together. We do things as a group. And then, we each have our individual classes and stuff like that. But I wanted to do something that was just something that was completely out of my comfort level, where I needed to put it on myself to do it, and so,
challenge yourself. I love it.
Yeah. So I signed up to do this vendor event, and I knew when I did that I had to get your package, and it was a huge game changer because it was just all done for me. I mean, why reinvent the wheel? It was all done. I bought it, printed off everything, and it made my table so pretty.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, it looks so professional. I got done. I was like, oh, this looks so good. It looks so good. So, the rest of it, once I put all the package on the table, the rest was up to me to fill in the rest. And I just felt like it was complete. And I was proud of that table.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier. Oh, they are having a hard time hearing you after all. So, there you go. So I hate to have you zoom in on your face. Oh, that's way better. Yeah. And then speak towards, I think your microphone might be on the left side of your computer. So maybe speak towards that. Yep. Okay, perfect. So if you didn't hear what she said, Ginger printed out the vendor trade show package from our website, lisazimmer.net/shop. It's only $37. And what I did was I had a professional designer create like 60 some pages of professional looking printouts that you can trim to fit 8x10 picture frames, and they're designed specifically for your table. For example, they're set up so You can introduce people to the products and put that frame out, and then there's white space on the bottom so you can have products below. What it does though is it just gives you a specific process to set them up, and then it just really beautifies your table for 37 bucks, so you don't have to wing it. So so you got that and you felt better about it, felt like you're on the right track. So tell us what you did from there.
Well, I did a make and take. I did the 101 make and take. I felt like that was probably the best option for, it was a childcare conference. And so that was geared towards, pretty much towards anyone, to address some of their health concerns. But then a portion of the table was set up for the classroom. So gearing things towards the classroom, the On Guard, the spray, and I had a diffuser going. So I had your classroom vendor package, that part there also. Excellent. So they were able to do the make and takes, and I charged $5 for them. And they were a great icebreaker. So and it made my booth rent back. I was able to pay for my booth that way too. Yeah. Yep.
So for those of you that are new to the Zimmer system, so she used the vendor package to set up the table, and there are handouts in there by topic without recipes. We created that specifically for those of you that do not have all of our make and take handouts yet with the recipes. Those pages are $25 a page for the make and take pages, because you use them for a million different things and they're very strategic and researched, etc. But we didn't want new people coming in to have a bare table. And so what we did is, if there's a back to school or classroom make and take with recipes, we turned around and made a blank one for you in the vendor package. That's what those 60 some pages are, so that you can display in a pretty frame. A $1 black frame from the dollar store works fine. That's what I have, right? Classroom, or I don't even remember what it's called, back to school, whatever it's called. And then below it, those specific products that work for that topic. Here's what I saw, and you probably know this too, Ginger, right? Is when people did vendor events, I would see their tables, and when it would look like someone vomited doTERRA product all over their table, and none of it was self-explanatory. So, and people can't buy that way, right? So my specialty is the psychology in what's going to help people, what's going to help them make a decision, what's going to help them focus. And so that's how we set up our vendor process, right? She took, right, intelligently the topic, which was class, and did a section and did, hey, come check it out. Here's what you need for the classroom or back to school, etc. Helped people focus so they could make a decision. She didn't just lay out hundreds of products all over her table and start rambling about what they were. So that way she could say, oh, for school, here's what you need. Period. Boom, done. And enroll them, right? Super easy buying. And she did the make and take at her table, which is, you can follow our make and take process by clicking in this group on announcements tab and click on the step make and take, okay? And she does it just the same. She helps people make the roller. She doesn't make it for them. She doesn't sell repackaged goods, so that this process is approved through compliance. That's in the same announcements tab. If you have questions about it, click on announcements tab, scroll to step 14, which is compliance approval of this process, of our processes. And it engages people. It helps them get oils in their hands. And she still works through enrolling them on the spot. But if they don't, they now have something to take home with them, very strategically labeled, so they can't go online and order it off Amazon, right, and get a adulterated product, right? I'm going to let you talk about through how you use the trifolds and what other things you use. But the key is you have to focus your table, right? So she had the essentials make and take with the recipes then on display that showed them how to get started, with which kit, what other products they could order, so she could take them to the finish line and get them enrolled with those products as well. Because you can't change their life if you don't close the deal and get them enrolled. It's not about closing a deal. right? That's just their sales talk. It's about getting them their own account and the product so you can get them into your Facebook groups or your support education on YouTube and change their life, right? So our system helps pay for those samples to get them using those oils right away and have an oils experience. Helps pay for your vendor booth, right? So I want you, Ginger, then to take them through how'd you get them to come to your table? Give us some more inside scoop.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think it's important that the table doesn't look chaotic, because if it looks chaotic and messy, in my brain, I'm not stopping. I just keep on going because that is just clutter to me, and I don't even want to understand it, you know.
Me
so,
too.
It looked very neat and clean. I used some easels, propped everything up on the easels and made it look nice. But I stood in front of the table because I feel like people are more apt to approach a table when you're out there in front and you're not standing behind, with your arms crossed. I stood out there and I had 2 bottles of oil in my hand. I dropped peppermint in their hand and orange and let them just smell it. And it was early in the morning, so I felt like the peppermint and the wild orange would wake them up, and it just kind of gave them a chance to get it on them. And then I talked to them about the make and takes, asked them if they wanted to, do a make and take, a roller. They're $5. Did they have a certain health concern? Just kind of started trying to break the ice with them. And I think the make and takes were great for that because they didn't feel like I was trying to push something off on them. This was something they could make a decision, let me know what their health concerns were. And so that was fun because what it did was, when they're gathered around to do a make and take, it creates a frenzy at the table. And everybody wants to know what everybody else is looking at,
Absolutely right.
It was perfect to draw them in. And then I could talk to them, as they're making their rollers and explain how the oils work. And basically, I did a mini 101 all day long. I mean, a very short version all day long. And so it was really fun. And so then, my my stickers have, how to use that particular oil, whatever it was, if it was seasonal Zen or whatever. And then it had my phone number on it, so they can call, if they ended up not getting their kit and enrollment and stuff that day. But all that information was on there. And so I had 5 for them to choose from. But if they didn't have an account, which was pretty much all of them, I would just let them make 2. I say, pick a couple that you want to make. And so, because I didn't want them to leave with 5, and I felt like it was overwhelming. And I felt like I was less likely to hear from them again if they left with everything. And so what I would tell them is that they can do 2, but if they decide, to get their account, this is how doTERRA works. And I'd explain the wholesale account that they get to order on their own. They don't have to call me. If they decided to do that, they could make all 5 for free. So that's kind of an incentive. I mean, everybody does it different. Or if they went ahead and made the couple and decide to come back in a little bit and make and get their account that day, I reimburse their money to them. So that and then I told them that I had their goodie sack ready to go. I had, their enrollment sack, and I had their book that I give them. All their enrollment gifts are right there. That way I didn't have to meet up with them later in case they lived out of town. So, just kind of told them what came with a wholesale account, when you joined my team.
Excellent. So, now, were you able to display that then? Did you have enough room to put like next to the sign that says "Get Me Free"? You displayed your goodie bag and your book and all that?
Yeah, my book was laying out open. That way I could grab it and show them how the book works, the reference book. And then I had the sacks all lined up real pretty and, ready for them to take.
Yep. So I want to help people simplify this process because people ask so many questions, and really what it is just do it, just take action. You're going to see that as you watch more and more of these vendor videos, every single person does it different. I don't care how you do it, just do it, right? Yeah. Stop planning, stop researching, stop watching all my videos.
I did.
If you're watching my videos, awesome. But if you're watching my videos and not taking any action whatsoever, not awesome. Because that's the whole point of what we teach here. I don't want people here just to learn, never take any action, because we're not going to change the world of healthcare that way. Right? So just go do. You probably learned some things you do differently next time, right? I learned something at every vendor event. But the moral of the story is expose people to our oils, help them smell them, help them get them on them in some way, or our other products, right? Body butter, I don't care. Get something on them. Sanitizing this doesn't matter, right? Watch my step-by-step video on vendor. Just type in the search this group bar vendor and my video pops up, and I take you through the whole table, how it's set up. Not the make and take portion, because you can watch make and take videos for that. But the whole point is expose them to the oils and tell them how to get them in as few words as possible, and start a conversation. Just like pretend it's 1980s and that people still talk to one another and ask each other about themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion, about oils, because the more I talk to them, the more I realized they don't know much,
No.
they really don't. And I'd say, if they did, I'd ask them, what are they using, or what brand are you using, just trying to get some information from them. And it was just all over the board. They're just using a little bit of this or whatever they found at the store, maybe something someone's given them. I mean, it was just really random. So that kind of led me to the next thing on, why we choose doTERRA, and, kind of going through just part of that mini 101 class with them, basically.
Did you use the trifold and send it home with them?
I did, yeah.
Oh, good.
That was
to help focus.
That was my business card, basically. I had, I have my information on the front, and then was able to open up and show them all the oils inside, and, I mean, excellent. It's much better than a business card.
Excellent. Right. So what she's talking about there, for those of you that don't know, right? So I'm going to give you some visuals. I'm a visual person and a visual learner. So when she talks to people, right, because a lot of you in the comments are going to say, well, what did she say about why doTERRA? Use your trifold. Well, what did she do for her mini one-on-one? Use your trifold, right? This helps you focus and keeps you from being the doTERRA vomiter. Nobody wants to hear about you and you ramble on about your doTERRA. Your job is to ask them a question or two and get them talking about themselves and themselves and their needs, right? Not you. It's not the Lisa Zimmer show at your vendor event. It's not the Ginger show. And people have always said to me, oh, your pet story is so good. I don't have a story like that. Well, guess what? I probably haven't told my story to an enrollment to enroll them or educate them on oils in probably a year or two. Mm-hmm. I don't talk about myself when I'm trying to learn about other people and develop relationships, right, Ginger? Mm-hmm. So use this to help you focus and keep you from rambling on about yourself and the products, right? You want to ask them questions and redirect them to a visual so they don't have to remember anything you say. Mm-hmm. You just remind them, this is why we do doTERRA. This is how we get it. Here's some of the oils we're using today, so you can refer back to this, right? And now here's how we help you get your own account. Let's go ahead and do that. Shall we go ahead and help you? Do you want to go ahead and get started? Right, see how all that is short and simple and one-liners, right? Right, so tell us what words you used to help them go from making that roller to enrolling with you.
Well, a couple of examples would be, one of the ladies came by and was making the rollers. And so as we were talking, she's telling me, what do you have for, she said, what do you have for allergies? And I said, well, open your palm. And I dropped some oils in her hand, and she was smelling them, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Mm-hmm. And so she went on to do whatever she was doing. This is a conference that lasted all day. And so they come and go to my table. Mm-hmm. And so probably 30 minutes later, she came back. She said, it worked. Sign me up. And so that kind of stuff, I just met her need, and so she sold. And so she made all of her rollers. She got her goodie sack, and she's good to go. The other lady had kind of been at my table for a little while, and I think she had made maybe a couple of rollers. And then she came back, she said, well, what do you have for a stiff neck? And I said, well, put your palm out. And so I put a drop of deep blue in her palm and let her rub it into her shoulders and kind of massage that in. And she went on to the conference and sat down for a little bit. About 30 minutes later, here she came back. She said it worked. And she wanted to get her account and get started. So really just meeting their needs.
Get the oils on the people.
Yeah.
Right? So that's part of the make and take too. I don't care if it's putting the oils on their hands and helping. So Boyd Truman, who's like a Brazilian presidential, right? He's our upline. And his motto is get oils on strangers, enroll them. It's that simple. Get oils on strangers, enroll them. Let doTERRA do its job. You learn to say, as little as possible, right? So that we don't put people to tears, but help get the oils on the people so they can do their job. So that's the reason we implemented like the classroom setting of the make and takes as well, right? Because the oils are diluted, they're in a form, right? You've got your make and take samples there. So some people are paranoid about putting straight oils on people. Don't be, right? They're fine. But if you are, grab your make and take sample and have them roll the allergy roller on, or have them roll the whatever the pain one or aches and discomforts one is in the make and takes, right? If you're looking for the recipes that she used, go to lisazimmer.net/shop. And the recipes that she used for the make and take for the 5 is the essential make and take handout on the website. And the recipes are on the page once you purchase it. But that's the point, right? She got the oils on the people. And that's how our training is set up for the table. Even if you don't do a make and take, we still have oils out for the people. They can't make a decision if they don't know what, to use, right? So you help direct them specifically. And then even if you don't do a make and take, right, there's a try me and the product's out. And then we have the essentials rollers on display. So like some of the vendor events I do are huge and hundreds of people are coming to your table and there's line 10 people deep. I can't do make and take at those particular events. I still put out the 5 rollers. So I am helping people focus when they say, what do you have for? Oh, awesome. Check this out and try this roller, right? There's so many ways to get the oils on the people. And, but you have to expose them for the product and get them comfortable. Now tell us what you said to take them from the lemon, lavender, peppermint working to a starter kit. What are your words? Awesome. I love this. This worked. How do I get it?
Okay. Well, they come in, and you can get the top 10, which will meet, most all of your needs. And they come in the small bottles, the small sampler size, or you can get the bigger size, and that comes with the diffuser. And I had the diffuser going so they could see how that worked. So, and I just basically showed them, I held it in my hand, showed them the smaller bottle, showed them the larger bottle, so they could visually see the difference and explain the difference in the amount of drops in it. And they could decide where they financially felt comfortable. That's kind of up to them.
And up to them, but 2 choices and they can make a decision. And it says right on the trifold when you're showing people, right? Small kits, $150, larger kits, $275, 3 times the oil for less than twice the price of our top 10 sampler kit and a free diffuser. Right. So your job is to help them. Now, if you're in a market where natural solutions and home essentials are your small bottle and big bottle, great. Do that. Find your words and your level of comfort, right? But give people options.
Yeah, because no matter even if they get 3 times the amount of drops, if that $275 is not in their financial budget, it doesn't matter to them. So I needed them to start where they were comfortable. And if $150 is where they're comfortable, then great, let's do it. That's exactly where I started.
Did you have anybody that said $150 was not in their budget and it needed to be less?
I did, but I had that option on the table. I had the 3, I laminated, in case they went for $55, they could do that. That was theirs on display. So
I love you. All right, so I'm going to hold that up. Okay. I'm not sure if I have the most recent version in mind because I have all right, so I have this handout on display, or she laminated this handout.
Yeah, that's
It's the intro kit, right? doTERRA's $20 5 milliliter lemon lavender peppermint. I created a handout specifically for this vendor event. And so I did it last fall. At 1 a.m. I had this brainchild idea, right? Because at vendor events, not everybody at the vendor events that I do, right, are there for oils or natural health and wellness. They're there for anything. They're so big. And I was like, okay, so many times at a vendor event, people will object with, well, I wasn't really planning on spending that much. I just came to this show to shop for the holidays or whatever, right? And so I wanted to be able to overcome that objection and still help them get the oils, help them get their own account, get as much as they could for as little as possible that wouldn't scare them away, right? And so I created this. It's called the Intro Kit Handout, $55. That's the US version. The handout is only $10, right? So what it does is it helps you direct them to the intro kit and get their own account for only $55. And then you can customize this side of the handout where it's basically your goodie bag, whatever you're willing to put in your goodie bag, plus the stuff that automatically comes with the account, the introductory book, the bottle stickers, the 30-day cleanse. Those things automatically come with their doTERRA account. So those are on there. But then anything else you want to add that's in your goodie bag, add it to the bullets here. So you're able to say, oh my goodness, no worries that that's not in your budget. This is our mini intro kit, and it's going to help you get started with those things. And it also then explains many, many uses for lemon, lavender, peppermint to help them see, oh, wow, that is going to do a lot. And how is $55, this US market, for your budget? Oh, sounds great. We didn't have anybody once we started using this, like the builders at our vendor event table, when we did a multi-person one, we're actually fighting over this display, like grabbing the laminated pages and like, who has laminated pages? Because it was such a busy event, right? And so many people there were shop for clothes and not specifically for health. That always makes it harder when it's an open vendor event, right? Yeah. Because you might have people that are there to buy spoons from Pampered Chef and leggings from LuLaRoe, and you aren't on their radar, but you can help draw in those people that aren't even interested in natural health and wellness, open their eyes to it, help them get started for a smaller amount. So how many enrollments were you able to get with on the spot and follow up?
Okay, I did 2 vendor events in the last month. And I got 4 enrollments, and another girl that I've been chatting with for the last week since the last one. So I know that she'll I know she'll sign up and get her.
Awesome. Well, and it sounds like the conference one was a smaller event where people were at a conference and you were kind of like a side perk.
Right. So both of my events that I did were conferences like that. Okay. And there was probably 250 people at each. So I was able to do the table by myself.
That's really small. So 4 enrollments, that's really good.
I know. It was small, but I felt comfortable with it because it was a great place to jump off, and get started. That's so it was awesome. Good. But I tell you, the key is that link generator. That was huge. I enrolled everybody with the link generator.
Tell us how you use the link generator for your process.
Okay, so obviously I was busy and I was by myself. So once they decided which kit they wanted to go with, they would give me their phone number and I would send them the link. And within minutes, they were able to go ahead and follow that link and get signed up. And so once they did that, they come back and they would get their gift and finish their rollers and all that. So I would just write down which kit to do and just send it straight to them. I mean, the link was awesome because there's no frustration on their end. They didn't have to go in and figure out, okay, they didn't have to figure out the website and then figure out which kit they need to pick because it gets a little confusing. You're trying to do it on your own. And I didn't have time to stop the flow of what I was doing to help them with that particular step because it could be a little time consuming. But the link generator was just bam.
All right. So I'm not sure how you set it up, but I want to talk about different ways that you can do it. All right. So for those of you that don't know what she's talking about, you go to link generator and in your back office, and you can find the training video that I've done for that by going to the search this group bar in my Facebook group here and type in link generator, my videos pop up. So how I've done it is I have on my phone set up a Google Excel, I don't know what Google spreadsheet's called, Google Sheets. So basically an Excel spreadsheet in Google. And what I did was I pre-built all kinds of ways to get started with doTERRA. So I have taken, if someone says, oh yeah, I want to do the intro kit enrollment, I have saved on my phone the link generator for the intro kit enrollment. Now, I don't know if you add anything to your carts, Ginger, but I add, sometimes I'll add, depending on the price. With this one, I don't add a lot because the whole point is to keep the price down.
Right.
I love to add a product guide to every order. I wish doTERRA still sent out the product guide, but I add a product guide to their cart and I let them know that with tax and shipping and everything, it's going to be like $60 plus tax. Right. So I pre-build all those carts and I have a spreadsheet. So if someone says, yes, I want the family essentials, I just copy it and send it to them in a text, just like you did. Where did you store your links that you had pre-built? Or you didn't pre-build them?
I haven't built one. I would just go into the website and copy it and send it. And if I'd already sent it to one person, then I knew I could send it to another one. So I kind of worked it that way. Obviously, there's a better way to do it. But when you're on the spot, you got to send it out. So I just went over.
I panic if I'm on the spot, right? Because technology is not going to go my way. So I have all these saved. If you don't use Google Sheets, you can just open a page on your phone in Notes and title it your link generator kits, right? So what are your most popular? So your intro kit for $55, and I like to add a product guide to every package, right? So that one would just be the intro kit, $35 membership fee. This is US market example, and the $20 intro kit and a product guide. So that would be one of my links, and I have it saved on my phone. So I just touch it, copy it, and can send it in the text. And so then you just said, okay, stand over here. I'm gonna get this to you, and you can go ahead and do this on your phone while I'm helping these other folks, and then we'll help you get your goodie bag so they can do it right there themselves.
Mm-hmm. Basically, I mean, they were going back to class. They were in classes all day, and so they would see in between or on a break, during lunch or whatever. So if they were going back to say class, I'd say, okay, I'm going to text you, and then you can just follow it. And when I get the email, I'll know that it went through. And so we just kind of communicated that way. It's probably a little different than, big health events or, events where there's a lot of people that they're not attending a class.
Yeah, because they were in and out for you.
Right.
All right. So then like for the family essentials kit, right, if that's what you chose to help them enroll with for their small bottle kit, I have the link generator pre-built and it's the family essentials kit. But then I like to do a couple versions. I have family essentials kit with fractionated coconut oil, rollers, and product guide. I'm trying to add rollers, product guide, and coconut oil onto every enrollment kit that doesn't have it, so that as soon as everything comes, they have everything they need to dig in, and I don't have to say, oh, now you need, right, at our follow-up. And so, but if, and then quote them that price. But if they're like, ooh, I really want to stick to the 150, great. Then I have another link that's just family essentials and a product guide. All right. So pre-build all those carts in the multiple versions. And so you open your notes on your phone, you copy and you send that one and have them pre-labeled, ready to go. So, because I panic, right? So if I like open my phone and start to do the link generator and doTERRA froze up or something, I start getting hot and sweating and freaking out and forgetting my process. And I'm pretty good at this, right? But when things don't go right, so I try to make the process as smooth as possible with having the pre-built link generator. So great. As you reminded me about link generator for vendor event, because I haven't done that much. It didn't exist last fall when we did all of our big and so there we go. We touched something new for that. Yeah. So what would you say are the most important things for people to remember, or tips that you learned along the way? Like share with us what worked well, what you do differently, just anything you can think of.
Okay. So one of the things I did was I had just a little Post-it note and a pen kind of back tucked behind everything. And as I'd have conversations with people, I'd ask them their name, introduce myself, and kind of have conversation with them. And then I go back after they left and wrote down their name and what we talked about. So when I went to the drawing slips, your drawing slips, I would remember their name and put the conversation with the name. So when I contacted them to follow up later, I could still say, hey, you know, I know we talked about blah, 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 you know, on Saturday, and just kind of followed up that way. So it just helped me connect the dots between the face-to-face conversation and a drawing slip. So I think that's really important.
Absolutely brilliant. Because that develops your relationship too. They know you pay attention and that you really cared.
Yeah. So I think it's important to stand, like I said, stand in front of the table and not stand back behind, because people don't ever approach you if you are standing there with your arms crossed. I think you need to smile. I think you need to get out in front of the table and talk to them, and just be willing to, you know, just engage in their conversation, eye to eye, you know, no distractions. But I really think a lot of it's the mental prep that goes into it. You know, I was a little nervous the first time, because I told you I tend to do things with my friends, and so things are always easier when you're with a buddy, you know. But this is all on me, and I thought, okay,
leadership development. You just got self-developed and leadership developed.
All on me. I, you know, fail or succeed, whatever. I mean, it's still, if I forgot anything, it's all on me, you know. So a lot of it's a mental prep, and I told myself, they're gonna love me. They need what I have. They're gonna come see me. You know, this is gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great day, even if things don't go perfect. It's gonna be a really good day. So, and I feel like people are drawn to that. I think they feel your positivity, you know?
Absolutely.
And so they also feel your name, and it, you know, repels them. So I used a lot of your yay oils that morning, that day of actually both events. I did that. I wore it.
What oils did you use? It cut out a little bit there.
Your yay oils.
Oh, good. The Yay Oils Happy Blend. I'm going to read that off for people that are new to that. So the Yay Oils blend is what I like to put out on the end of the table with some other products and say, hey, you want to get happy? And so it's the Yay Oils Happy Roller, and it's just a roller of, if you do a 5 ml, I only do 5 mLs in case they disappear, right? And we have them on display with the lids off so that people are less likely to walk away with a roller with no lid. So all these little vendor tricks you can find in my vendor table video. And it is 5 drops each: Citrus Bliss, Balance, Elevation, and Whisper. You can also type in the search this group bar, Yay Oils Happy Blend, and it's also on our I Have My Oils Now What Plus recipe page in the files tab free here. All right, so a couple things. Ginger mentioned the drawing slip, right? So the drawing slip is free in the files tab here in the Facebook group, but it also comes in the vendor pack, so that you don't have to go multiple places to find it. So I would say, if I were to summarize the key tools that you use to make the vendor event a success, it's the vendor trade show package, right? That's on my website, lisazimmer.net/shop. The intro trifold, the intro kit, $55 enrollment handout, right? That helps those that can't afford a $150 kit still get enrolled with a great option.
I have the display. I have the kit right there in front of that sheet to show them.
And visualize. Excellent. And really, those are the key things, because everything else is either already free in our Facebook group, or then did you hand off the I Have My Oils Now What Plus recipes, or do you send that in your welcome email?
It's in my welcome sack, so they get to leave with that immediately.
Excellent. Okay, so that's free in the files tab as well. I Have My Oils Now What Plus recipes. So remember, right, people need visuals. So you want, around that sign, get me free, you want your goodie bag like laid out so it looks like tons of stuff, because it is tons of stuff. The I Have My Oils Now What Plus recipe. Display those so that people can see. If you throw in a 1-week sample of Lifelong Vitality Pack, if you can afford to do that, display it. Display the book, right? So then people are like, wow, I get all that for free. Yes, you do. Let's go ahead and get you taken care of today, right? Have visuals and reasons for people to make a decision today. It's way easier for you to hand off a goodie bag on the spot than to have to ship it later, isn't it?
Much easier.
Try hard to, it's going to save you $5 in shipping, probably $3 to $5 at least. Yeah, depending on where you live. Right. So you don't have to spend a lot. What I don't love in doTERRA is people are spending exorbitant amounts on excessive training programs, excessive tools. We're probably talking this is $10. The trifold's $20, right? So that's $30. And drawing slips free in the files tab. I Have My Oils Now What Plus recipes is free in the files tab. The 60-second enrollment language, learning the script, that's free in the files tab, and the free videos that we have everywhere. And then the vendor package for $37, right? And that's really it. Unless I do a make and take, right? And then that's $25. So you're talking about less than $100 for tools that you're going to use over and over and over and over and over, right? You could customize your handouts for each vendor event, right? If there's something different you want to do because it's a specific, athletes or whatever, you can tweak something, right? That's what makes the digital tools affordable for everyone to use. Edit it with a free PDF editor and keep using them. I don't love people spending themselves out of business. That's not why we're here.
It's not sustainable. I decorated the table with things I had around the house. So, I mean, there's just no reason.
Right? Do you have pictures of your table that you could send to me by chance?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yay. Okay, send them to me. And then when we repost this video, I'll put the pictures up there because people are so visual and people have seen my table and that's great, but I'd love for them to see yours along with this too. So what time is it? Okay, so will you tell us how you have followed up with the people that did not enroll that day?
I sent them a text, a follow-up text, and on the back of the drawing slip, it talks about what they're interested in, their health options, and on the front it asks them 3 different options, things of their concerns. So I kind of addressed that in the text, and I met you the other day. You stopped at my doTERRA table and kind of reintroduced myself that way, and I would like to meet up with them, or I can answer any phone calls, or answer any questions. Just reached out, So if anything, it gave me another 40 contacts, so it got me out of my norm. It got me to go a little bit further and reach other people,
Cold market. I love it. You got to reach out. There's no excuses for not being able to do doTERRA. Like, I don't have any friends. I don't know enough people. It's not about who you know now. It's about how you're going to create your own opportunities in doTERRA. So that's one thing we're really pushing in WWZD right now. If you're not in there, please get in it. We're teaching everyone how to create these opportunities beyond vendor events, right? So I have a friend who builds solely on Facebook, right? She enrolls mostly people she doesn't know. Obviously, that's one way to do it. I'm not good at that. I don't do that. I work at creating opportunities because I'm an in-person person. I like to talk to people on the phone. I like to hear their voice. I like them to hear my voice so they can hear my sincerity and build trust in me, right? And everybody likes to do it different, but we want to teach you how to build these relationships outside your warm market, which are friends and family. And you have to create these opportunities. And nice job, Ginger.
So I'm so excited because the market's not saturated.
Market is not saturated. You got that right.
I know. I told my husband, I said, it's crazy. There's so many people and they have no idea. There's just so much education out there that needs to happen.
It does. I was recently on a Facebook group. It's a really big Facebook group. I'm not going to say what the group of it is, but and it's just about all kinds of things. It's not about anything specific. And it's a place where women gather just to talk about themselves. Like they'll post a picture of an outfit and say, what do you think? Can I get away with this? Or, hey, I need some new ideas for tile backsplash, right? So it's just a Facebook group of just tens of thousands of women who need somebody to talk to. And somebody posted about a Gardasil vaccine. Should I get it? And I was mortified. My husband and I talked about this yesterday. I was mortified at the number of people who were not educated on the side effects of that particular vaccine. I'm not going to turn this into a vaccine debate, right? My son happens to be fully vaccinated up until 6th grade when I researched this particular vaccine. And since then, we have quite a few people in our own essential oils team whose children have been harmed by it, right? So I'm going in with firsthand knowledge, not just, hey, I read this on the internet, of young women and men who are harmed by it. And I have been living for the last 4.5, 5 years in this little bubble of people that are educated about health and wellness. I've been living in the doTERRA bubble of the 2 to 7% that use doTERRA. In every state, the most saturated area, Pleasant Grove, Utah, is only at 7% saturation for doTERRA. There's still 93% in that area that don't use it, right? I didn't realize what a bubble we were living in of educated people on natural health and wellness options. And till I saw that post, and like 95 or 90+% of the people were like, oh yeah, you need to get it. Oh yeah, you need to get it. I was like, wow, we have so much work to do.
Yeah.
Right? Again, this is not a vaccine debate. This is this particular, just like, I have a prescription antibiotic story where I was disabled for 3 years, right? I don't go around telling people to get off their life-saving medications, right? I just tell people don't use this one, right? Because it's dangerous. Same thing. It's like, wow, we live in a bubble. We have a lot of work to do yet, people. Just because they use essential oils, you need to learn how to take that to doTERRA. So people, I'm sure a lot of people came to your table and said, I already use essential oils. And you didn't just say, okay, great, bye-bye, right? Tell them what you said. Can I throw you under the bus?
Say that.
It's hard to do on the spot.
Say it again. You cut out for that one little part. What did
Yeah.
you say?
So when people come to your table and they're like, oh, I use Young Living, or oh, I use CBD, or oh, I already use other oils. You don't just say, okay, thanks, bye, and freak out and run away.
Oh, no.
Tell us, give us a little feel for your segue. I know I'm throwing you on the spot when you're not in that situation. It's harder.
No, I would just go ahead and continue my conversation as if they weren't using oils, honestly. Or I would ask them what oil they use or what they're using it for, and just kind of continue the conversation with them.
So relationship building.
Yeah, I didn't walk off or anything, but honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, there was just so much uneducation, or lack of education in this area as far as oils go. So I really didn't run into a lot of that. Or,
we want to arm people with that segue, right? So whether they say CBD or Young Living, or people are always saying, well, what do I say to win? You're not there to win. You're not there to bash another company. I don't even talk about the other company regardless of what it is, because we're better. It's so simple.
I always steer it back to what I know. I know that there's 54 tests on each bottle before it ever comes to us. I already know about source to you. I already know all those things. I flip the bottle over. I show them the number where they can figure out what's in their particular bottle. I know all that. And so I can tell them that. And I feel like that's enough. I don't need to talk about where they are, what they're doing. I can refer back to what I know that we do.
Yep. My favorite way to segue is fantastic. I'm so excited that you're already choosing natural health options. Tell me what you're using that for. Tell me what else you got going on. And if you know our 60-second enrollment script, right, you know where I'm going with that. get them talking about themselves, their health concerns, and then guide them to an option that you have. You don't even have to mention their product again because it's not important, right? You don't have to win. You don't have to argue, right? So many of my downline come to me and, oh, they use CBD and well, they use Young Living, and we have hundreds of young living people in our group, right? Because once they get the oil on the person,
so
contest.
Well, I find no matter what they're using, they want education. They want somebody who will help guide them and where they want to go. That's what they're all looking for. And if there's lack of education, they're going to turn to us. And so I feel like that's really important to provide that, because that's what they're looking for. They don't want to figure it out on their own, because if they it feels like it's too much. And in my case, it was too much. It's overwhelming. So I shut down and wouldn't even accept it until I was ready. So I needed somebody to guide me through that. And I think I approach it that way because that's how I felt.
Yep. And don't be afraid to say, when they say, well, what makes this different, right? We have all those facts and me. You get me.
Right.
I'm going to help you, Susie Q. When you have a question or a problem, I'm here for you. We help educate you. We help walk you through the process. We get you the resources, right? And you go back to your book. We have a private Facebook group, and there's no excuse, right? I don't want to hear how they're not on Facebook. I can't, support them. I don't care. There's YouTube, right? Well, I'm not on YouTube. Send them to my YouTube, right? There's so much education on products because we load every week's video to YouTube, and it doesn't say Enroll with Lisa Zimmer. It's just product education. There are no excuses that you can't be amazing for these people, right? So you have all the resources. That's what people want. We have the product. We have the support. We have the education.
Yeah.
Right? The trifecta. We have what they need.
We have it all.
If you don't help them get the product and get their own account, you cannot change their life. And that's what we're here for. We're here to get oils in every home and change this broken healthcare system. And we can't do it if you don't feel confident about your product and build your confidence about yourself. Did your confidence grow from this experience, Ginger?
Yeah, because I knew I could do it. It was just getting out there and doing it. And it's like, okay, you got to conquer those fears, and it's like, oh, it felt good. And so now I know I can do it. And that was one of the things I wanted to do, was a vendor event. So, getting those checked off my list.
Yep.
I know I can do it.
And that's the biggest thing. Someone just recently posted, she's been asking questions and taking all the WWZDs for about 6 months. And she just held her first event and, did a couple $100 in rollers and got a couple enrollments. And she was like, wow, why did I not just do this sooner? Right? So 6 months of learning and planning. And she's like,
talk about it.
Right? Because she had so many questions because she wasn't doing. And she said, this is insane. If I would have just right out of the gate done it, everything I said in my videos would have made sense. Instead of more questions, right? Because it wasn't making sense because there was no doing happening.
You have to do that.
Time to do the do, right? And action. Right? Stop learning, take action. Because you're going to come back in here after you've done your class. You're going to learn what worked, learn what didn't, tweak it. You probably learn what worked, learn what right. So you'll have your pre-built link generators for the next one.
That's right. I learned something today. But yes, your vendor package made it so much easier, because it was just it was a no-brainer.
You have to tell a story, folks. I'm not talking about yourself and your oil journey for 5 minutes. I'm like, your table has to tell a story and build up to what you're getting to. It's like dating and marriage, right? So people are coming to your table and you're flirting with them and getting your oils on them. You have to date them all along the table before you ask to put a ring on their finger, right? Your relationship building from the beginning of my table setup through the middle to the end where you're going to say, yay, want to marry me, right? You can't just stand in front of a table and say, want to marry me. You have to help them fall in love with you along the way. You have to tell a story. You have to follow a process. When people say, oh, you don't need a system, everybody uses a system. I don't care what your system is, everybody has a system, right? And you have to have a system for other people to duplicate you. And if your system is simple, a lot more people can duplicate you, and you can grow, and you can get doTERRA in every home. Simpler, faster, less expensive for us, right? We've cut back on our expenses so much using these tools compared to what we did before, right? We don't give away $30 books. It's simply not cost effective, not duplicatable, and you can't sustain it long term, right? We give away the $1 or $1.50 books and the goodie bag, right? Because it's more effective to get more products in their hands than spend all your commissions on a book, right? So process. Find the process that works for you, that's cost effective and duplicatable. Well, Ginger, I sure appreciate you coming on today and sharing your success with your vendor event. What I love about this too is it was such a small vendor event, and you were able to succeed with that number of enrollments in such a small targeted setting.
Right. No, it was great. I had 2 great days doing it, so it was good. I'm gonna do it again.
Well, thanks everybody. Feel free to post questions in the comments. I'll come back a little bit later and answer some questions. And if you're new to Lisa Zimmer Essential Oils Biz Tips, please do a couple things. One, go to the search this group bar and type get started, right? We have a get started document in the files tab you can print out. It helps you focus, right? We have a lot of tools. That's my wheelhouse, is problem solver. So if I see something in doTERRA where there's a problem and they don't have a tool for it, I create it. So my tools complement doTERRA tools, right? doTERRA does not have a tool for you to hand out at vendor events, the trifold, right? They have I don't know how many pages the natural solution booklet is. You're not going to hand that out at a vendor event, right? So that's why we created the trifold originally, right? They do not have the make and take handouts and the recipe pages. My tools are used to complement the doTERRA tools in those situations where you need something different, right? So we have a lot of tools to solve all different kinds of problems and scenarios, but we want to help you focus on the tools that you're going to use the most, which is the trifolds, the intro handout to help people enroll with the intro kit if they can't afford one of the top 3 kits in doTERRA, and the essentials make and take. The rest of the other main tools that you'll use are free here in this group. Please take advantage of free. The files tab is jam-packed with free tools. Take advantage of it. We are here to help you grow your business. So people always ask, why do you do all this, right? So like, why do you educate everyone for free? There's like 28,000 people in this group. You're going to learn once you get a better feel for the doTERRA compensation plan. When we all work together, it's simply better, right? We are going to have a much better perception of doTERRA as a company if we are all working with one another to help one another and create the real doTERRA culture, right? In other MLMs, individuals compete with one another within the same company, right? That is not doTERRA. We are all here for the same goal, same mission. And when we work together, we're all going to do better, right? We can get to oils in every home when we work together. Okay. So that's what we want to teach here. Help each other, learn from each other. If, we learned a new tip from Ginger, right? Link generator. Learned a little tip from me on how to take it a step further and get it in Google Sheets or in your notes, right? So that we can all do better. I created this group simply for that. I got to Diamond and started finding some great marketing and sales tips and free tools, right? My recipe pages. And it made no sense to me that millions of other people building the business were going to have to start from scratch and go through 2 years of unnecessary learning and suffering, right? So I wanted to stop that. I wanted us to all be better right now. So if you have a great idea, If you have a successful, a vendor script for follow-up or for introducing yourself at events, please post it in the comments and share with others, because again, we're all going to do better when we do it together. All right. Thanks, Ginger. Thanks, everybody. Happy oiling. Have a great week.